My name is Reshma Abdullah, and my whole professional experience has been in customer services and in different service-related management and setups, things like that. Presently, I'm working with Flydubai Airlines. I'm managing their Pakistan contact center as well as marketing and compliance for them. This is in a nutshell currently what I'm doing. Flydubai started the operation in 2009. It's a fairly young organization and fairly young airline. We have got all new aircrafts, new generation aircraft of Boeing 737-800, and most recently we have added 737 MAX. It's a brand new aircraft and is being on display as we are speaking at Arabian Travel Mart, which is the biggest Gulf event every year happens, and all Gulf, a lot of airlines participate who operate through Gulf or fly to Gulf. So you can see 737 MAX over there, and it has got a absolutely different kind of business class, especially in sort of a hybrid carrier. We are not legacy we're not legacy full board carrier like you can say Emirates or Qatar or PIA. It's not even it's also not a budget airline.
It's a hybrid, that's what you're saying.
It's a hybrid, but you can fly as low as $200 to Dubai and come back, and you can spend you can also you can spend $600, go to Jordan and come back refreshed. And we have this very new exciting product we just launched last month. It's Holidays by Flydubai, and right now we are running a special campaign for Pakistan market, whereas you can pick up your flights and your hotel. In addition, you can also pick up your tours and activities in different.
You curate the whole
yes. It's a very customized package
So I think
for
the
Pakistan. Like in different industries, there are international organizations, because air transport industry is regulated by IATA and also civil aviation of different countries. So there's a lot of data generated from every big or small airport of the world, and especially after 9/11, it has changed drastically what kind of data we collect and how do we use it. So if I'm flying from Pakistan to New York, 24 hours prior to my departure, the flight manifest, we call it a manifest, actually it's a list of passengers on that particular flight, and particular data parameters, they are logged and sent to Homeland Security in New York. Yes, and this happens for almost all European and across Atlantic countries, and there is a particular format, whereas when you are traveling to Saudi or UAE or some other destination,
not so stringent.
the data entry is not so stringent as compared to actually the America started it. US was the first one to give a particular data format for that, and it is called Advanced Passenger Information Service. So they gather that data, and every airline which flies into the US have to give that data. So this is one data. See, you can use that data to find out that how many people, what age groups, what genders fly to US from Pakistan. Plus, if we go down, how many of them fly from Karachi, who goes to East Coast, who goes to West Coast, how many people go to Thailand or Far East for their vacation. See, because all this data tells me that there are different segments of travelers, barring the religious traffic, which is a yearly occurrence, or once in the Ziyara is a very big segment. People going to Iran and Iraq. See, this is how now there are new airlines coming in, and Iraqi Airways has just started an operation from Karachi. So you see, there is the separate special segment of the customer, and data and technology tells us that this is where the customer wants to go. Similarly, it's easy to go to Thailand and other Far East countries. There are not that strict kind of visa, and you get visa. But at the same time, we discovered that we have a whole bunch of destinations which we can push, and where especially people from Pakistan can get visa on arrival. So one is CIS countries, Azerbaijan, this Astana, and different,
Kazakhstan,
yeah.
Right. All these-
Majority of them, they offer e-visa before you travel, and when you land you present certain documents and they give you visa. The conventional airline customer used to walk into an office which was called ticketing and reservation office. We at Fly Dubai, we call them travel shops. Similarly, you will see a lot of industries are now calling them experience centers. See, but naming it as an experience center and what experience you are giving is different. So there's one shift in customer relationship that people now don't have to stand in line at reservation and ticketing, or people cannot change their travel plans after 5 p.m. Airlines, they don't sleep. Because if I'm working for an airline which operates internationally, then it's a takeoff time from, for example, from Baku, and maybe somebody is traveling to Asmara, and so many at times I've been woke up from different international airports, yes, time zones. Can I accept this passenger because he has got certain documents, and will he be allowed in Pakistan? So the airline never sleeps, essentially it never sleeps, and that has, and we don't sleep because of our customers, because our customers are in different time zones, and that's how we have defined different touch points. We do have a global contact center in Dubai. We have offices, not full service offices, but presence at airports from where we depart from. Fly Dubai Pakistan is the second station globally in Fly Dubai network to have a full service contact center. It's equipped with different channels, not social media, because as such current it will be required later on. However, we do have this SMS, and we do have the email facility as such, and we accept documents and things on WhatsApp as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was totally established by a local team, and we locally acquired all the technology. So see, it's in a limited resources we have everything. Right now we have everything to serve our customers flying in and out of Pakistan.